Hey Go Yogis, it's Cindy. So today I'm going to move a little bit away from the stretching videos that we've been doing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a slow flow. And so if you can't get into the studio and you want a few minutes of movement, or maybe you're taking a break in your workday, or maybe you want a little bit of movement when you get up or before you go to bed, moving through some of these slow flow things are a great thing to do just to get some movement in the body. Doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be long, so I'm going to give you a couple suggestions of things to do just exactly that. I'm going to suggest that you have a blanket available because we will be doing some stuff on our knees, and if you've got a cranky knee like I do, it might want to have a little bit of extra padding. And so if you have the time, you can find a little bit of meditation first, just a little bit of breath work, but at minimum, take the time to sit up tall, close the eyes, even if it's just for a breath or two, and let go of your day thus far. Let the breath get a little deeper, let the breath get a little slower. And then use an inhale and sweep the arms all the way up high to the sky. Find a little bit of movement side to side. So reach with one set of fingers, reach with the other set of fingers, and just shimmy your body from one side to the other, starting that length through the side body. Exhale and let your hand on the right side swim behind you. The left hand comes to the right knee. Just find a little bit of a twist, lengthening through the spine, starting to wring out those internal organs. Breathe in as you glance over the shoulder. Inhale, come all the way back to center. As you exhale, left hand swims behind you, right hand comes to the knee, same thing. You find that little bit of twist as you lengthen through the spine and glance over the shoulder. Inhale, come all the way back to center. And as you exhale, draw the palms of the hands down right in front of the shins. Slide them or walk them forward until you find this little bit of a fold, letting the head and the shoulders rest down. Take a couple breaths here, maybe walk the fingertips a little bit further forward. Press the sits bones back until you start to find that feeling of sensation of lengthening through the back body. Walk the hands all the way back up, and we're going to move from here into hands and knees. And so you can either kind of get there anyway, or you can just roll across your knees and come into a hands and knees position on the mat. Set yourself up here so that the shoulders are over the wrists, the hips are over the knees. Think about the back being one nice long line all the way from the tail to the crown of the head. We start to move with some simple cat-cows. The inhale draws the belly down towards the mat, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, arch the spine and tuck the chin through the cat pose, pressing into the palms and pressing the mat away. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, finding some additional movement in the hips, if that feels good. Letting yourself be creative with this, just moving in ways that feel good in your body. A few more breaths here in this cat-cow with whatever spin on it that you like. And then come on back to your hands and knees position. Reset the spine, find all of that length. Take one inhale, and then take one exhale. Next inhale, you're going to lift this right leg and reach the foot straight back behind you, squaring the hips so the hips are squared down towards the mat, and you're finding length all the way from the hip to the heel of that right foot. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. As you exhale, bend the elbows and dip your chin down to the mat. And then inhale, press all the way back up. As you exhale, take this right leg out to the side, pace that foot down to the mat, slide it out as far as feels comfortable, and then press deeply into this left hip so you start to stretch through that whole inside of that right thigh. You can find a little bit of movement pulsing in and out of the stretch. And then walk the hands back towards the body, raising the body up and bringing the hands to the hips, finding this full gate pose, head over heart, shoulders over hips. Use the hands to gently press the hips down and lengthen the torso up. Keep your right hand right where it is, lift the left hand high to the sky, and then lean to your right so you find that stretch and length all the way through the left side body. Again, you can find that little bit of pulse up, pulse over. Breathe in and reach, breathe out and lengthen a little bit more. One more inhale here. Find that final exhale. And then inhale, reach that left hand high to the sky. Palms of both hands come to the mat. This right leg is going to transition back behind you, nice and long. Exhale, the chin dips down to the mat. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, right knee meets the left knee, and we'll move right to the other side. Use an inhale to send this left leg long, square the hips, the toes point down, you're flexing through that foot, finding nice space all the way from the hip to the heel. Breathe in. As you exhale, dip your chin down to the mat, bending through the elbows, and then inhale, press all the way back up. Use an exhale to slide this left foot all the way out to the left side. Pace the foot down onto the mat, and then press gently into this right hip until you feel that stretch on the inside of the left thigh. And pulse in and out of it a few times. Breathe in. And breathe out. Walk the hands back towards the body. Bring the hips and the shoulders into alignment. The hands come right to the hips. That little gentle pressure of the hips down towards the floor. Lengthen the spine. Left hand stays right where it is. Right hand reaches high to the sky. With an exhale, lean to your left. Use that little pulsing movement. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean to the left and stay right here. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, reach that hand straight up to the sky. As you exhale, both palms come down to the mat. This leg goes behind you, reaching this foot straight back behind you, squaring the hips. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, dip the chin down to the mat, bending the elbows. And then inhale, press all the way back up. Exhale takes this left knee to meet the right knee, and maybe take a few cat-cows here, or just move the hips side to side. When you're ready to transition, tuck your toes, and then shift those hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Find some movement here, bending in one knee, bending in the other knee. Shifting the head from side to side, shaking it yes, shaking it no. Making sure that the feet and the hands are a stable distance apart, and then starting to find some stillness, rooting down through the heels, pressing into the palms, and then all of the knuckles, and letting the head hang heavy. Long, smooth breaths here. Every inhale, those hips reach up and back. Every exhale, the palms and the heels root down a little bit more. Next inhale, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, and then walk yourself to the front of the mat for a forward fold. Lift up halfway, take the palms of the hands to the shins, maybe even to the thighs, getting that nice long spine. And then exhale, bend the knees and fold in. Little ragdoll sway, palms to opposite elbows, letting the head hang heavy. You can bring the feet apart, make a little bit more space here. Maybe you can hang down a little bit further. And then let the fingertips come down to the mat as you come to a slow, easy standing position. Keep the knees bent, one vertebra at a time as you come up. Head and shoulders come up last. Palms of the hands down by the hips. Root into the feet. Lift the kneecaps so the thighs engage. The low belly pulls up and in. Next inhale, the arms are going to sweep all the way up high to the sky. Find that same little movement, side to side, stretching through the side body, thinking about pulling these low ribs away from the tops of the hips. Palms come together, look up at your thumbs. Nice slow exhale, start to fold forward, lead with the heart, come all the way down to the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Take your palms to the mat, one foot at a time, step back to a plank pose, and maybe this plank pose is on your knees, or it can be on your toes. Find that length through the spine. Exhale lowers you all the way down to the mat. Release the toes if they're not already released, point them backwards. Lift your heart for cobra. And then exhale down, chin to mat. Inhale brings you up through a tabletop or plank pose, toes tuck. Hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together and then lift your right leg all the way up and back. As you exhale, come up onto the left toes and then shift that right foot forward, coming down onto the left knee and bringing this right foot right between the hands. As you start here, think about rooting into this foot, lining up the knee over the ankle, and then coming up onto the fingertips or maybe the fist to pull the belly and the ribs away from the thigh so the crown can reach forward. Left hand is going to plant down on the mat, and then the right hand is going to start reaching open up to the ceiling so you find this low lunge twist. Gaze can go up at the fingertips, it can go to the wall if that feels better. Trying to stack the shoulders, open up a little bit more, breathe in. And then exhale, take that palm down to the mat. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee. The front foot is gonna step back to meet the back foot, option to be on toes or knees. Shift forward, lower all the way down to the mat. Lift the heart for cobra pose. Exhale down, chin to mat. Plank or tabletop, breathe in. Toes tuck. Downward facing dog. Opposite side, feet come together, lift your left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, come up onto those right toes, the foot steps right between the hands as the right knee lowers. We're gonna do the exact same thing here, come up onto the fingertips, lengthen the heart forward. Stacking the joints, rooting into this front foot, right hand comes to the floor, left hand reaches up high to the sky. Starting to feel that sensation, not just in the hips, but through the rib cage too. Open up a little more, breathe in. Exhale, palms frame the front foot. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee. This time step right back to a downward facing dog. Take one breath in, one breath out. Feet come together, inhale. Lift your right leg high to the sky. As you exhale, draw the left knee down, bring that foot right between the hands. This time, take the palms of the hands to the thigh, and stack it up. So, top hand presses gently on the bottom hand. You're pressing this thigh gently down as you're lengthening the upper body against it. Maybe you can press your hips forward and down a little bit to increase the sensation in the front of the left hip. Just making sure that this front knee and the front ankle stay aligned. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms high to the sky, and then take a moment here to make sure the belly button is pointing forward. That'll square out the hips just a little. Right hand comes to the right hip. Inhale, reach up and over with this left hand. Same thing we did in that gate pose, a little bit of a different sensation. Inhale, hand reaches up high to the sky. As you exhale, palms frame the front foot. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, front foot comes back, downward facing dog. Feet come together, inhale, left leg lifts high to the sky. As you exhale, come down onto that right knee, bring that left foot right between the hands. Bring the hands all the way up to the thigh, stack it up and find that little bit of pressure downward as you lengthen against it. Maybe the hips go forward and down a little bit more. Really sinking in to find that sensation. When you're ready, arms are going to reach up high to the sky. Belly button points forward as you square those hips. Breathe in. And then exhale, left hand to the hip. Right hand reaches up and over. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, palms frame the front foot. Front foot meets the back foot. Press yourself all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Take one inhale here. One exhale here. Inhale, roll yourself forward into a plank pose and then lower the knees to the mat. Cross the ankles behind you and sit your bottom all the way back until you come into the seated position on the mat. Eventually making your way all the way down to your back. Squeezing the knees into the chest. Wrapping the arms around the shins and rotating those hips side to side. Allowing the knees eventually to drift over to the right side. Arms come out to a T or a cactus shape. Gaze can go over that left shoulder as you start to slow down and quiet the body down as we finish off this little short practice. Stay as long as you'd like here, eventually transitioning the gaze to center, knees to center, and then knees go left, gaze goes right. Slowing the breath down, allowing yourself to find that sense of softness through the body, that sense of ease of breath. Inhale, come back to center. Send the legs long, take the arms down beside you, and then find a little Shavasana time. Maybe it's just 30 seconds, or maybe you've got a few more minutes. Rest, restore, reconnect. When you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, bring the soles of the feet to the mat and slowly transition over to one side or the other. Making your way up to a comfortable seat on the mat. And just taking a few breaths here as you finish off your practice. Sitting up tall, hands at the heart, maybe the eyes are closed. Exhale, completely empty out your lungs. And then inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Pause at the top, savor that breath. And exhale through the mouth, bowing in.